So, Cullen and his soldiers are building the watchtowers, so I thought we'd take this opportunity to go deal with this mage side of the rebellion that's going on. Go ahead and bring some stability back to this region. A few skill points to pass out. Let's see. I'm going to give Sarah passive. That raises her dexterity. I really couldn't care what else it did, as long as it raises her dexterity a bit. Alright, now Cassandra, the Chevalier's Step, is an upgrade from Shield Wall, and what that allows her to do is not only generate guard for each time she takes a hit while that's active, but it also generates guard and extra armor for me as long as I'm standing somewhere nearby, which I usually am. We're in there doing the dirty work, and the mages and rogues are kind of standing on the sidelines, you know, dealing out the pain.
The breach remains a threat to us all.
Just the same. I wondered if you might leave now that we have a plan to seal it.
Ah, because I am an apostate. I might flee before the Inquisition throws me in chains. I take my commitment seriously, Seeker. Come what may, I shall see this through.
As you wish. Though I cannot guarantee what will happen in the days to come.
Cassandra really brings up a good point. I mean, there's, you know, history will show that sometimes heroes are people that served really well. When political agendas get involved at the end of the matter, like basically, once the war's over and all the spoils are being divided, anyone caught in the middle, if they are at a cross or they're, say, an embarrassment, like, you know, great, they don't mind having Solus's help, you know, to stop all this stuff, but then when it comes down to it, when everybody starts asserting their authority, if Solus doesn't fit their agenda, then he can be swept under the rug, thrown into a circle, made tranquil, murdered, you know, one of those convenient, what do they call it, a stage suicide type thing? That's what we'd call it today. But, I mean, that's not totally out of the question. Stuff like that can, will, and does happen, so it's interesting that they create this environment here. Is, you know, you have, you know, human nature involved here when, you know, you have powers struggling against each other. Of course, everyone thinks they're right, and they're going to kill everybody else off who doesn't agree with them, and, you know, once the dust settles, then, poor guys that, kept the world from destroying itself usually, get the short end of the stick. I think because the powers that be are made up of the people that are left over that started all the trouble in the first place. That's just one viewpoint. Something to consider. Alright, so we're back in Mage land here. We've dealt with the Templars, but we still have these cockroaches running around trying to kill everybody. Namely us. Well, no shortage of mages here, is there? We got ice mines everywhere. Holy crap. Okay, this is a little ridiculous. You know, I'm kind of glad we're a little over-leveled here, because, honestly, I think my party would have got raped right here. Coming here around level 6 or 7, and it's on. Wow, okay. Alright, that's... yeah, we stepped into a hornet's nest this time. Interesting, you come through this end of the tunnel, like at the beginning of the game, and you'll find half a dozen mages and half a dozen Templars duking it out, and of course you get involved. They all turn their attention on you, and it's hectic. Well, apparently, if there's no Templars around, then they just double up the mages here. And just send a dozen of them after you. That's... wow. Okay. That's cool. I hope they all drop something. Okay, now this central area that we're about to head into, to get to the Rebel Mage Stronghold, it's essentially just a big circular area. Off to the right is the road that leads to Redcliffe, and off to the left is Redcliffe Farms, basically. Okay, and this is kind of like a middle little valley type place here. You can either go clockwise or counterclockwise, but you can essentially just circle this area and do everything that's here. At some point, we've either found a letter or, I don't know, looted a dead body or something, but there's an apostate's hut in here that has kind of a little side quest type thing. It's more of a fetch and discover type deal. You know, get a message to go over here, and once you get there, the quest is over. Kill something or find an item, and you're done, type of deal. But there's something like that. There'll be a Fade Rift in here. 1 or 2 more magic shards, some landmarks, and stuff like that. But you can essentially just do a circle of the area and get everything. Including a lot of stuff to farm, like this. Iron, elf root, a bunch of embrium in here, like a lot of it. There's a couple places where there's several of them all kind of clustered together. Were they just there a second ago? I just like totally walked by them? Or they just spawn in my face? Now, I want you to notice, my ranged characters are doing their best to stay ranged. I can't so much speak for Solus. He's just doing his thing. I have him as I'd say a healing battery, but there's no technical healing in the game, okay? But, you know, I still call him a healer. But, essentially his job is to keep a barrier up, you know, keep us on our feet, okay? Resurrect us if we die type thing. Alright, that's cool, and he can lay down damage with his weapon, essentially, just his basic attacks. As long as you just put out a steady stream of whatever element your staff is based on, fire, ice, lightning, whatever, that's cool. I'm good with that. He casts, Winter's Grasp every once in a while, and that's honestly more of a tactical thing than it is a damage thing. For, you know, enemies that are weak to ice, sure, it does damage, and it'll do more damage as his magic stat goes up. Once again, I'm going to emphasize, think about your passives, not only in terms of what they do for your character, but the fact that they add attribute points to key stats that are important to your character. If a passive gives your mage extra magic, 3 points towards magic, right, or 3 points towards willpower, you're talking about raising his spell strength and his either his mana pool or his mana regeneration or whatever. Actually, I'm not exactly sure how that works with the mana deal. I don't know if their pool stays a constant and then you just adjust it with buffs, or if you can actually raise their mana pool with your stats, or if willpower just simply raises the mana regeneration rate, and you have to augment willpower with, like, equipment and stuff. And say your mana pool, because I believe there's you know, I don't know, I'm trying to think if there's any equipment that I've seen that gives you plus a X amount of mana. I don't think I've ever seen that. I've seen magic and willpower and stuff like that. But, I wonder if your pool is static and then you just adjust it from there. Like, if I can, make spells cost less and make my mana regenerate twice as fast, then I'll make that base amount of mana go twice as far. I know in previous games, willpower actually just added mana. And it might add a little to the regeneration rate also, but it mainly, you know, added mana to your mana pool. I'm not exactly sure how that works here, because it seems like with the stamina, your stamina is set at a certain base amount, and then you adjust it from there with buffs and perks. Like, you know, stamina regenerates faster for a period of time, or once it reaches a certain point, or stuff like that. Or a certain amount of stamina back per hit, you know, things like that. I actually need to look into that. Either way, it doesn't matter. Once you get your passives and your abilities set right, then it shouldn't be an issue. And another thing I would emphasize on that same point is assigning each one of your party members to do a specific job. DPS should be DPS. Your healer should be healer/support. Tank should be a damage sponge, not tank/assassin /champion /reavers /templar this. You know, I mean, seriously. If you're gonna have your sword and board dishing out damage, I would focus specifically on that and designate someone else as a tank. But someone needs to be drawing the heat, or else the whole party's gonna get wiped. You're gonna have enemies running everywhere and not focused on a central point, that your party can concentrate on, and it's going to be a real cluster in most situations. Not always. I mean, there's some times where no matter how you set your party up, you're going to go in and rape face and build your confidence up, but when you go in against certain combinations of enemies, it really tests your party build, you know? Is your party working as a team, or are you just kind of getting by button mashing, and then when you're actually tested, your party just gets wiped almost instantly? That's the real test. I think the best party builds is where you can essentially walk in no pause and wipe out any situation, whether it's mostly ranged, mostly magic, mostly melee, brutes, like, you know, enemy tanks and stuff, or damage dealer assassin types, or any combination thereof. You should essentially be able to go in and just destroy some stuff. Now, I'm over-leveled for these guys right now. I'm sure they're probably level 7, maybe 8 or something. I doubt they're much higher than that. But this tactic right here, to sit back and kind of exploit the AI to stay within its zone so that you can kind of thin out the herd a little bit. At lower levels on Nightmare, it might be wise, because you come in here and these mages are just going to pepper the ground with their mines. We've already taken a couple out, so it's not so bad. And then you have this guy in the back here that shoots these friggin' meteors at you and everything else. And the funny thing is you have some ice mages, but you also have a fire mage in here, so unless you come in strictly with lightning, for example, one or the other mages are going to be resistant to whatever your spell type is. Like, you know, Souls is in here with, what, say, a fire staff. Okay, well, this guy's immune to that. The rest of the mages were cool. This guy right here. Now, if you really want to take it to the next level, you can clear out some mages, walk away until there's until you can shed their hate and lose their attention, right, to where it doesn't count you as being quote-unquote in combat, and then you can switch weapons and come back and deal with this guy if you're really struggling with him. Probably depends on what level you are when you get here. Like, okay, it shows him at level 7, so I mean, that was really not a big deal.
At least for the time being.
But you come through here at level 6 or 7 trying to deal with these guys, and those mages and the rest of the spell swords that they have running around in between them, between the mines and the spell swords getting in their melee, and this dude sniping you from the ridge up here, this can be a brutal area. This can be annoying. It really can. So you can sit outside the cave and kind of thin out the herds a little bit. I don't think I would have had to here. I probably could have come in and ramboed the whole group, being 2 levels higher. But just a thought. Now this door is going to open up when we solve the last Astrarium. I still have one down in Hafter's Woods, but I'm not even going to mess with that area yet, because there are Reavers in that area, and they will drop these things, oh my god, I always forget what these things are called. Infusion primers? I believe that's it. Anyway, they drop these things that you need to gain the Reaver ability. Once you get the training, you'll get a recipe that you actually have to make at the requisition table. So you get a recipe for this thing to turn you into a Reaver. I don't know, it's like some super magical syringe or something. And you need some dragon blood, some infusion primers or whatever they're called, and something else. Oh, a book on Reaver, which is easy. I mean, once you talk to the trainer, the book is just sitting next to Iron Bull, where he hangs out. We'll see all that when we get there. Red Bull, what? That's funny. Gives you wings. Alright, so I'm gonna try to find the chests. There's this one. Seems like there's one more in here somewhere. Maybe it's by the middle landmark. It doesn't really look like that, though. It looks like a smaller chest, like one of those little ornate chests. Okay, now this is the, I believe, Dead Man's Gully, or Gulch, where we found the Druffalo, a little farther down. Yeah, Gully of the Burnt Man. Alright, whatever. Okay, so, if you to keep going down that way, you'll get to that little stream that leads to Red Cliff Farms. And then we head back up this way, and this little hut... Oh, there's another landmark. This hut has, I don't know, some apostate's hut or something. And he leaves a note, and you come here, and, well, we'll see here in a second. But, this is an opportunity to get a pretty strong amulet for your mages. Here we go. I thought there was another one. Right. Sweet. Should be a fade rift up here somewhere. Oh, it's sitting there. It is. Okay, behind the trees. See if Souls can take care of one of these ahead of time. Once again, not a big deal. I think we're over leveled here. I imagine this Fade Rift is probably around 6 or 7. Like everything else in this area. Alright, can I get lucky? Can I get a ring that I can use? That'd be nice. Not asking too much, I don't think. Leaping shot. Actually, well, I can't, but I'm going to get that to Varric. There will come a time where he will be my go-to. I'll be using him primarily. I love having Sarah around, love her dialogue and everything else, especially with certain party members in the group, but Varric has those party buffs that just, I can't pass them up. Okay, well, he's bugged. He went straight from about to spawn to screaming at the top of his lungs with no in between. Yeah, he's feeling his oats this morning, obviously. Yeah, that was weird. That was kind of buggy. Alright, but that Amulet of Magic there, that's going to raise spell effectiveness overall. I believe it's simply just your mage's form of attack, essentially. And attack and spell resistance, I believe. Magic defense. Alright, another magic shard over here, and yeah, I know I missed a chest. I know there's an ornate chest in here somewhere. That's fine. This is an area we can come back to just any time later, so it's not a big deal. I'm sure I'll have to come through here for something. I think that we'll rehash these areas for future quests at some point in the game. At least I hope so, because I'm keeping that last mosaic piece in mind. Some way to get to that, because as it is, that is unobtainable. Alright, so we had the towers built. They're definitely done by now. And we'll go ahead and pick that up. Essentially, we just have to acknowledge that they were complete. And see if we can't start any other missions that are available. I think I'm running out. I think we're coming to the bottom of that well. I'm pretty sure that until we progress the story a little bit, that these missions have pretty much dried up.
Did you see the message I sent?
Yep, there we go.
Yes, thank you.
Alright, so we need to go report that to the guy over there by the Horsemaster. And essentially what he's going to do is equip our refugees with weapons or something. I don't know. Basically fulfill his end of the deal in helping the refugees, and we should get the Horsemaster's assistance and access to new mounts and whatever. And finish that up. Then, once we've reported this in, and talked to the Horsemaster and gotten his cooperation, we can go back to Corporal Vale and let him know the good news that peace has returned to the land. Yes, we've saved all of Thedas in like 5 minutes. Because, you know, we're awesome like that. And once we inform him of that, then he gives us an offer for some assistance, and we're essentially done with that area. Then I want to go to the Forbidden Oasis. All right. So the cool thing is, if you're not at the war table, you can just fast travel to any specific campsite that you want, or any landmark that is considered a fast travel area. The war table just sends you to your initial campsite. But if you leave the war room, you can go where you want. I think that's cool.
Nothing to report, sir.
Alright, nice and peaceful and quiet. Yes. You brought peace back to the land. Now give us our just rewards. And a sandwich. Or a taco.
If those refugees are going to defend themselves, they'll need real defenses. I've got a few ideas.
I built watchtowers in the areas you recommended.
Nicely done. That'll give both the refugees and our farmers some warning next time trouble pays a visit. I'll speak to the master and have weapons sent to your people at the Crossroads.
Sweet. Alright, now unless I've really screwed up or totally forgotten something, that should be it.
Elena says you got rid of those demon-cursed wolves. Should be safer for our farmers now. You've held up your end of our bargain, Inquisition. You'll have my whole stable and good hands to go with it.
You sent your stable hands and your horses to the Inquisition. What about you?
Well, you've cleaned up the area, and I can't say I'm not tempted. Still, it feels wrong to abandon my land to go play horsemaster again.
Are you Andrastian? This is a matter of faith. The Maker would want the best to join us.
I've heard some things about you lot. Can't say I'm not interested in what it all means. All right, Inquisition. I'll look to your horses myself. Never let it be said that Redcliffe gave less than the best. Just let me settle matters here and say goodbye to my wife. I'll meet you at Haven.
Kind of a stay-down dude right there. Very cool. Alright, so that's pretty much it for Redcliffe Farms, and I will, one of the few times I actually utilize my horse. I mean, I don't know. When horses are available, I very seldom use them. I'm just used to running around on foot, even if it takes a little bit longer. I just don't really think about it, to tell you the truth.
You've done amazing work out here. Thanks to you, these refugees are safe, with warm clothes and food in their bellies. The Inquisition might be able to make use of them. If you had a mind to.
What are you suggesting?
We could ask the best and brightest to join the Inquisition. They would serve well. Just as easy to put them to work, or look at the whole thing as an act of charity.
The Inquisition can always use skilled volunteers.
I bet no one's ever asked them to join anything.
If we spread word of the Inquisition offering help freely, we would win the loyalty of every peasant in Ferelden.
Yeah, that's really worked for the American politics, hasn't it?
The Inquisition. See if any of them want to volunteer.
I'm sure we'll get some good recruits out of it. I'll go now and set things up with the refugees. But thank you again. These people are alive because of you. None of us will forget that.
Alright, so apparently Solus is our party Democrat. Sorry to say it, but he wants you to give everything for free. Notice we got no approval from him for recruiting the people who want to be of some use and actually help themselves. No, that's not acceptable. That's not the current American way. The American way is to make the few pull the entire cart. Just take one or two horses and keep loading up the cart. As long as the horses can pull it, then the rest of them will get a free ride. And yeah, that's what Solus is all about. He may be an intellectual, but he's very liberal in his thinking. Turns up. Don't make them earn it. Just give it to them and you'll get their goodwill. Yeah, well, goodwill didn't fight off demons, I'll tell you that. Alright, anyway, if you want to subscribe, hit that button over my head. And if you want to catch up on the rest of this Let's Play up to this point, click the top box. For all my videos, click the bottom box, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.